Hey everyone, so today we're going to draw a marble. And so the first thing that I want you to do after you sketch your circle is I want you to make sure you preserve your highlights from the very beginning. And so as you can see, I'm just starting off by going over the highlights. Okay, so your second step is simply just to add color, where if you're drawing a marble from a picture, you're going to add the color as you see it in the bands that you see it in. So for this one, I'm using Prismacolors, and I'm putting in the description all the different ones that I use in this drawing. Now for my third step, I'm just adding in dark marks by those highlights, and that will give it more of a three-dimensional sense, and it kind of looks like air bubbles, so that's the effect that you're going for. With Prismacolors, if you blend your light values into the dark, it will give it more of a three-dimensional form. So right now, as you can see, I'm adding white to that pink color, and that will make it look more interesting than just the flat colors next to it, where you see next to it the blues. Those are flatter looking, but when you add white to it, it'll give it more three-dimensional form. Next, I'm adding in the cerulean blue, which is next to the turquoise, and I'm blending a gradient of white and blue. And so the way that you get that effect is just by essentially layering the pencils into each other, and you'll get that effect pretty well. It's called burnishing, which is basically where you are working the colors next to each other, and that creates this gradient effect. And the number one piece of advice that I have for you is to really play up the contrast. And contrast is basically just significant differences between the dark and light in values. And that's what's going to really draw the eye and make it look like the texture that you're going for, which is that glassy texture. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going back in and adding some highlights and some shadows to make it look a little bit more 3D. If you learned one new thing in this video, please hit the like button. And if you learned two new things, please subscribe. So at the end of your drawing, it's good to look over the object that you're drawing or your reference, whether you're working from life or a photograph or working along with me on this video. And you want to look to see, like, is the shadow as specific as it could be? Are there other highlights or shadows in the drawing that you can emphasize to make it look more realistic? So towards the end of the drawing, that's what I spend a lot of time doing, is just adding those kind of smaller details. And what you want to do is you want to be sure to be layering with your colored pencil. The good thing about colored pencil is that it's actually pretty forgiving if you want to keep layering and trying different things. So you can kind of be like experimenting with that. And it's fun to do a little bit of layering with different colors. So that's what I spend a lot of the last little bit of this video doing, as you can see. Concept of line direction is also something that's really important. So if you haven't already looked at my other videos that are on cross contour, I really recommend checking those out, because that'll help give a better understanding about how you can have your direction of line match the object. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you tried making this, let me know how it goes, and I will see you next time.